Well, let's take a look and see what they're going to play, because it's our first Breeze of the year. You were right, by the way, it was 581 days. And LaRock is going to be playing Jet right off the bat. And CNET is...
What?
Wasteslay?
Wasteslay. CNET's about to Wasteslay. I think that they have a dynamic on CNET and 7 that I want to see. Both of them being very able to play the operator. That, especially on a map like Greece, I know that there's been changes, but I think that CNET has always been an absolute beast in this map. And I think that he's going to repeat the same with that, and the double control and the Sova just prevail.
Yeah, I'm very surprised of the Omen pick from Q-Birds. I thought that Viper would put everyone, you know, on the same page, at least at the start, you know, at the start of the meta, like Sova does. But I'm very curious to see what he brings with his Omen. Is he overcooking? We're gonna see.
I mean, we rarely see that, right?
Yeah.
We see people, you know, some play Neon, some play Jet, but the Viper pick, like you said, has always been a staple since the dawn of time on this.
Yeah, but I still remember when here specifically on Breeze, we saw teams being like Viper and Astra, and everyone was like, whoa, what are they doing? Like, why is this so innovative? So I think I kind of like it. I think it gives a different twist, just like, for example, on mice like Icebox. I do know, and I do wonder, because without some of those changes that have been made to Breeze, the verticality of the map, that double height has been gone. So I think that it could have a little bit more of an edge for Omen if that was still there. But I think that there's been cooking here, and the leader also has a lot of learnings from this past
Earnings, who knows? But yeah,
and as well. And he's as well, but in YouTube hosting.
You're buying the Omen. I'm not. So we're gonna see who
I'm down for a surprise. I know that they've
I'm buying the double controller though. I think Viper by itself on the other side of this is going to struggle. So I really like the Astra. I wish it was Astra Viper.
Yeah,
I think that
Astra Viper
been,
is what we see the most. I mean, at least in GC, in my experience, that's what we see on every map.
Open mind. Yesterday made surprise with the Astra Brimstone on Abyss, and I kind of liked it, the way that they were playing around it and how they were showing both how to play on the defense and the attack. I want to give them a chance. I think they deserve it.
Yeah, and it's the first Breeze back as well, so who better to hop onto this map? Because I know it's Mitchman's favorite. So over to you, Mitchman and Tombiz. You got what you wanted.
Oh yeah, Sue, you really read my Christmas wish list here. A little bit of Breeze, Tom. It's been gone for a long time. Good times, but now it's back, and it's changed a little bit. And I think those changes will actually lead to a more enjoyable map to watch and to play. We'll see if that's the case down on the stage. His specific take on BBL, and already, Tom, what a crazy setup we've had.
Yeah, I think like we can look at some of the changes that have come through on the map. A lot of it comes down to sort of making it easier to isolate a lot of angles, having a lot more positions that you can hold on. And I do think that's why with the composition we had coming in, it makes a lot more sense, because having a double controller, the Viper before was necessary because otherwise you walk into no man's land. Instead, then you section it off with the screen. Now you can use isolated smoke. So having two lots of smokers means you can just place down those certain angles you want cleared, and inevitably it will give you the angles you want to fight. So I do like the idea coming in from Pacific. On the other side, I do feel like I'm almost looking at an old school comp on this map.
Yes.
Maybe not so much the Yoru, as it wasn't quite popularized at that time as much as it is now. But I do think that they're going to go for more of the Angels, and Pacific, I'll be real, I think have built a better comp.
I agree, right? We have those two different perspectives, but coming into today, I think if you were to run these teams over in your head, what you're thinking about is BBL being that team that can win in terms of aim fights, in terms of those duels. So, and for Pacific, you want them to be that team that's bringing it on a more cerebral level, that's able to avoid those more heads-up aim duels and set themselves up for success. In terms of the comps that are brought to the table, it looks like both teams are very much playing to their strengths, which is good to see. Down on that stage as well, something we talked about yesterday was sort of that perfect mix of old and new. And I think both of these teams kind of have that. BBL maybe more in the age game, but when it comes to Pacific as well, you have some crazy experienced players, man like CNET down there on the stage. You've got Cooper who's been grinding out as an IGL, being tested for the first time. Well, his biggest test at this level.
The funny thing is, though, you say like, oh, experienced players, but to this stage, there are 9 rookies entering this game.
Yeah.
And CNET.
To this stage,
it is kind of mad. Like, obviously, we've seen them play like Ascension, or I think in Cupid's position, he's actually played on some decent teams, been a coach and an analyst on many others. So he's probably the most experienced within the server. Then you got the BBL roster that has been in the Ascension final twice, and even if they'd won it the first time, half their team couldn't have played anyway. They kind of won it at the best time, in a way, where you're allowed to have LaRock, you're allowed to have Loiter. So I think that this is going to be a cool matchup. Being real, I'm heavily favoring BBL. Like, there's a squad that's been together a long time. They have been... I don't even think anybody called them Tier 2.
Yeah.
Like, last year, the year before. People were like, okay, this is a Tier 1 team that's in Tier 2.
Yep.
Then they ran it again, and everybody was like, well, if you need a scrim partner, you play them, because you'll find your weaknesses. You'll find them very, very fast. And then the squad on the other side is kind of like... It's a mixture of CNED, a champs winner, who's kind of been on the way back last year, playing smokes with Foot, and then a lot of players from the Tier 2 that you go, okay, they were kind of on the brink of maybe making it to other teams, didn't quite do it, and now they're in this Pacific roster.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Again, when you're looking for an IGL, you've got Cupid, VALORANT as well. I know had trials for a lot of different teams at this level, and he's ended up on that stage, maybe where he belongs. We'll see. It's been a long grind, and for some of these players, a chance to prove themselves. 7 that we haven't touched base on. Was chatting to the Spanish streamer and caster Ulysses. He told me that 7's going to be the biggest surprise of the year for me. So I'm very excited to see what he can deliver as a man who's managed to deliver on many different roles in the past. BBL leveling it up here and movement towards this B side. VALORANT and 7 with a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
And this is where we'll almost get to test the individual brilliance of some of the players on the other side. An opportunity for VALORANT, but can only get the 1. Already a 3 versus 2. And the thing I'm worried about in this series for Pacific is if BBL get going, the steamroll can begin. Cupid, though, has already managed to turn this back into a 2v2 scenario, and they do have themselves a chance.
An opportunity. You got to flush out those players, though. BBL looking to swing together. It's going to be Lloyd, point of contact on back pillar. Up goes Rose to help out from the side. He's isolated in the fight, though, and it comes down to the one-on-one. Lloyd, oh, the flick is sublime. It will be the round going to BBL. A narrow margin for victory, but a 1-0 start nonetheless. It's hard to sort of come in here with any understanding of what that means, you know, in terms of like, is this comp going to be okay? First of all, is Breeze going to be attacker defender sided in general? And then with these comps in play, I can see strengths and weaknesses for them both. A lot of unanswered questions in the first few rounds, but I'm excited to find out how it's going to play out.
I would look at BBL and go, these feel like comfort choices. Like, I would happily see Kreven play a Sentinel every single map, but Sentinels have kind of taken a hit. Like, that's been one of the major changes coming in, is that a lot of that utility takes a long, long time to refresh and can be a lot easier even if you get caught by it. So a lot of people have opted to shift away, and that's like a double controller. Makes a lot of sense in this meta. However, for someone like Kreven, I think that does make a lot of sense because he's fantastic individually. For Pacific, I feel like the composition they're running could end up as a meta-esque comp. But we're still, the jury's still out on that one as of just yet.
Yeah, there's a lot more data to be mulled over before we get to that stage, to those conclusions. For Lovers Rock, a little bit risky, but he's got players with their back turned. After 1, get a little bit more difficult. Potentially look to isolate him, but getting to him means crossing the whole rest of the squad. BBL just taking those ranged fights. It's worked wonderfully to start. The name of the game here is surviving with all of their players, right? They've made a lot of investments. You lose Lovers Rock, it's not the end of the world, but from then on, the losses really start to add up.
Ooh, nice shot.
There's the first pick already for Pacific.
Yeah, it's a little bit of extra damage, but more importantly for 7, it's an opportunity to get ultimate orbs, which we already know how impactful that Yoru ult can be, especially even though like, I feel like a lot of the rotations have become a little bit easier on this map, with mid being more of an option without just having to face an operator every single time. It's still one of those things where on this map, the rotation to the A side, to the B side takes quite a while. You need that info early, and that ultimate could be very high impact if he can get it on early. The problem, though, is the same can be said on the other side. Lovers Rock is someone who is going to be looking to build up as many orbs as humanly possible. And I'll be honest, I still feel like there's been a lot of talk about, especially Lorok and Loiter in this team. I think Lovers Rock is pretty underrated. In his Ascension final performance, dude was insane, and he was playing with an injured finger the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was his click finger.
I remember you describing the severity of that injury, and I really wish you didn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that on broadcast.
Please don't.
It's not safe for work, I don't think.
No one wants to hear that. Nice shot! Lorok's just running it down. Out on mid. This is a round where they should be coming in with weaknesses, but the advantage already sits with the attackers. An early play by 7, though, to close in that distance on mids, putting the pressure on. It's forcing Lorok to, well, I would have thought go to side. He just tucks in.
Yeah.
He's holding that door angle and not being forced out into the majority of players. And he's going to be really hard to root from that position. A thorn in the side of Pacific's retake.
Yeah, they have to get him out of here. They can't just allow him to stick in the backline. It also stops VALORANT from being able to rotate. So they're having to send a lot of players just to try and clear him, and eventually they do. Cupid will be the one to find the frag, but there are still 4 more players on the other side sitting pretty. Kreven just stepping up with a double, and it's not getting any better. VALORANT, the last standing, and the other 2, look how far away they are. There's a lineup surely flying in. Shot starts going. That may have even missed slightly, but it doesn't matter. Time was already gone. VALORANT knew it, and that's BBL 3-0 up on the attack.
Now, very strong start indeed. Again, no telling how it'll change when we swap over, but honestly, looking at the current trajectory, I think we can say if BBL do push up to that 7-8 round mark, foundations are set. They're laid for them. I do think on the attack side though here, now I'm thinking about it more, maybe I even expect them to do better on the defense.
Oh, you're really selling the hope for Pacific here.
Yeah. So now I'm getting very worried, and I think they are too. We've already got a timeout called for Pacific down on that stage.
Yeah.
Again, you know, I originally I was like, oh, for BBL, you know, 7 rounds will be fine. But I think if they come out with a middling half, they'll be able to put the pieces together on the attack side, and we don't on the defense, and we don't know for Pacific like how those smokes are going to work on this map. Seems like there's a lot of promise, but.
I want to add in as well, like maybe people didn't watch Ascension or maybe haven't seen much of this BBL roster before, but they are, and I mean this genuinely, maybe the worst opponent to play on day number 1, because I have never met people who are more confident in themselves as a squad. Bear in mind, like the likes of, we're pretty confident that LAROC and Loiter had offers from other teams, big teams within the region, and they said no to stick together as a group because they believe, probably from their scrim results versus tier 1 teams, that they are good enough to go to events. So coming into a match versus the org they left for their new one that has picked up other people to try and replace them, they are sat there going, oh, we're winning this game. From what we heard about the skirmish, that they were confident they'd beat anybody that was thrown in, and even surprised when CNED wasn't in. They're like, oh, okay, it'll be even easier than we thought.
Area.
So you don't want to play this team because they are prepared, like LAROC did in the last round, to just run it down mid, insta-headshot you and go, right, now what you're going to do.
It is very early days, but you just think about that team for BBL who's already playing with so much confidence from the very get-go. And if they manage to have a dominant first map, their pick here on Breeze, it's going to be a real uphill battle. And I think for a defensive side, that timeout won't have been to win this round. They're probably going to be battling back from 4-0 down.
Yeah, they also have to change nothing in terms of synergy. This is the same team they played last year with. So it's a complete opposite for Pacific, who everything is new.
I like what they're doing here as well. Even though they're up against the eco, sending Kraven to the other side, seeing...
They're in the stack.
If we push one side of the map, do they get aggressive? No. Okay. What are they doing? They're rotating past it. They're giving us space, so Kraven takes it. He's now walked out on the A site. Despite losing the initial fight on B, it dragged the rotates, it left it wide open. The question is, can Cupid get anything done?
He's
the
been
man
baited
is stuck around.
He's been baited by
30
the
seconds
clone.
left.
Yeah.
That's why his heart's going on that angle. He's like, there's a guy here. I heard him. He was stepping, and then he stopped.
Spike
and that's what a
planted.
real person would do. It's not a real person.
Nice shot by 7. That weapon can be retrieved. The wall from the attackers even gets them in closer. Now there's a rifle on Cupid, one on VALORANT, a chance to take these battles and close to even footing. Lloyd is looking the wrong way. The flash is good. Cupid spots him, sprays, lands the kill. Down goes Kreven, and it's Rose. The shock dart. It gets him the first. The smoke about to fade. The shot needs to be clean, and it's right to the head. Cupid.
He's got all.
It's a body shot needed and found by Rose to close out the round. A Red Bull clutch keeps BBL with a flawless record on this map.
It's always funny because you have someone like Rose where the sort of criticism of him is like, oh, he's not going to put up the numbers.
He can IGL real good, but he can't shoot.
He's currently top of the board, 5-on-1, just clutching a 1v2 to start out the game. There's so much depth within this roster. And
1v3, wasn't it? Shock Dart got the first.
Yeah, there you go, 1v3. First one he didn't see, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's not a real kill.
But he is going to be the guy looking across the stage, standing up, like, no matter what. 4-0. This is where the rifles come back in. A decent amount of damage at least, but the economy's still good. That's a better start at least, but it's a quick pace take. And Hunter's Fury attempted to be used.
Spike planted.
Stefan's gone quite aggressive though with this ult.
Oh, he's looking for it. That has the TP out of there. And the problem is he's on the other side of the map. It's going to cost so much time bleeding from the clock. But Cupert has come up behind. He's threaded the needle. They thought it was clear because they pushed 7 back. But now they've got to deal with the leader. He's found himself 2. And that could give them the foothold. Another traded out as Rose is alone in the same spot as before. A 1v3, his first found. But the decoy absorbs the bullet. 7. With that kill, puts the first round on the board for Pacific.
Yeah, an important one at that. It definitely looked like they were beginning to get into the stages of potentially being steamrolled just because that clutch and then the fast-paced take attempted once again. But they've been able to get a lot of space, sort of sneaking their way through mid. I like the fact that Pacific are definitely not shying away from a fight. I think that's where you would just say, okay, this is over. If they're playing passive the entire time, but that's now, I think, a second time that Cupid's managed to get up behind them.
Yeah, and a lot of that, again, comes from the fact that 7 is selling that ruse. And once he TPs away, they think, okay, we've dealt with the flank problem. But no, there's a second layer to it. Very nicely done. Much more needed, though. Is that a blip on the radar for BBL? Will they be right back to winning ways? Of course, they've got the credits to invest here. Might not be the case for the next, but with a Viper's pit, Pacific don't really have a lot to fight into that pit. And especially with using the drone early on.
And Paranoia.
And Paranoia, yeah. You're really running out of options if BBL get boots on the ground.
Yeah, the Viper's pit would be scary.
Especially with that off on Cena.
Aggressive position. That's a bit of a risk from Cupid. Maybe just trying to take contact to give 7 that little bit of extra space. Cena getting aggressive. It's an opportunity, but a missed shot. 7, though, not missing. Continuing what has been a very strong start to this game and manages to escape. It will allow for a post plant, but look at 2 players. They're quite far away. It's very deep lurks, and a lot of time will need to be bought by those players within the site.
What's Kreven going to do with this? Right now, he's waiting for that rotate from B. In a couple seconds, he'll realize it's not coming, and either goes to the door or plays that flank, and it will be towards the door. The position of the plant, though, is important to think about.
Yeah, he just ran out onto the side and Viper's pit from far away.
Getting that defuse is difficult, but now getting into the pit and the defuse, this is going to be a real challenge for Pacific. Wrapping around, they've got players at every angle. Wide swing from LaRock. That's a little crazy. All they need to do is run that clock down. Kreven does well to find 1, and it's Rose! 6 HP! He's made it around the corner! He's bought them time, and time enough! Another clutch for the IGL on BBL! The man everybody doubts his individual ability, but by God, he's got it in droves today!
No, that's what it is. The other players carried in the tier 2. Rose carries when he gets to the tier 1. He was saving it. That's the thing, he was just warming up all of that time. What insane job. The worst thing is, Valorant runs into the pit, gets rid of it immediately, and it's almost like a sneaky reveal. It's like him coming out of the coffin, like the Undertaker, just like, you thought I was dead. It's insane. 5-1. 2 of those rounds have been clutched out by Rose, and oh, it was very nearly an attempt at a third, just a round to go. And that's done a lot of damage to the economy. 7 has definitely been a bright spark, though, and him having a rifle at least gives some hope that they could do some damage in this round.
It is wild that 50% of these rounds so far have been Rose clutches, and only one of them was an attempt. So, fair play. The guy is 9-3 at the moment. BBL, sky high in terms of morale. And that round, you know, not only is it important for BBL, for confidence, for Rose, yada, yada, but it was a big round for Pacific. Put the credits into it. We're left now with pistols, who are taken down easily by a body shot from an outlaw. Valorante has a chance for a kill here, but LaRock's come to the rescue. And we might actually get off without a hitch here for BBL. Nobody going down. A big moneymaker round on the cards. And Cupert's not got his hand on his mouth, but he is tucked in a corner, so it's okay.
I think they're using this as almost like a mini tactical pause.
Yep.
Like, I might as well just use the time that you've got. You're not winning this round. Maybe he can get an exit or 2, but if he has his ult, it really doesn't matter that much. And well, he's not going to do that much damage to the economy, in fact. They're just going to send out players to try and build up some of those orbs. And Cupid just isn't moving.
It's fine if Jack gets this. The Blade Storm, but
he actually dies around to give it. That's a good teammate. That is a good teammate.
Oh, that's really nice. Because obviously if he gets the kill, it doesn't matter. He's already activated his Blade Storm, so give it to a buddy instead. What a considerate teammate.
Yeah, and in-zone flawless as well. This is the thing. Like, a lot of the rounds had at least close aspects, but BBL were always building up at economy. 6-1 into the lead, and then you get an in-zone flawless round.
Nice!
And they're having fun while they do it.
I don't think I've seen Rose laugh like that in a long time. He feels, it looks like there's no pressure. He is just having fun with his buddies down on that stage and 6-1 up. No surprise. We don't know how they'll deal with a loss. We haven't got to see it all too much so far. CNET doing well. That's Kreven down early on and another on that mid push. Spike down, as you said, in an unusual position, but that's actually the least of their problems. It's a 2v5 now. Pacific, they found their mojo in this round. CNET certainly did with that aggressive off.
Yeah, it's kind of what you want to see from CNET and the operator. Like, he can take so much space off the back of the waylay and just fall back with no real risk behind it, but thus far he's been caught. Kreven's definitely been having a bit of a rougher time. I think they've done very well at isolating that lurking Sentinel in the majority of rounds. It's just, unfortunately, it's been the main hit that they've struggled to deal with. And more importantly, Rose, and he is still alive, although this one should be impossible.
Well, if we clutch this one up, I think he's going to be in the conversation for MVP of Kickoff already.
Not ready yet.
Should be impossible.
Hey, Mr. Fallen got an ace. He's now carrying.
Frenzy ace,
This is a new wave.
30
for Turkish
seconds
IGL.
left.
The age.
Although hopefully for BBL they won't be getting the same result.
It very much is the age of the leader. The in-game leader, not the coach.
Ah, yes.
Not to say, you know, maybe it is his age. I don't know. I don't make that call.
Yeah. They have the leader and the thinky.
They do. They do. The thinky in the brain is no more. Been taken away. Lover's Rock. It's got to do so much work if they're to have a chance, and with nothing there, I'm going to make a bold prediction that Rose hasn't got this. Nice shot to start. He's on the other side of the wall, but yeah, going back through there ain't going to be a walk in the park. A second found for Pacific. Good work. But they got to climb right back into this, and the question that we don't know the answer to is 6 already enough for BBL? I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult to say because like they've obviously still got themselves the Senti Viper, which has always been pretty good on the defensive side, and then this sort of double duelist with the potential for, well, especially Lover's Rock to play the operator, but LaRock isn't a slouch at anything. Like, if you've seen him play before, you know he could pick that up if necessary. I am going to be looking, though, especially on the attack side, how they're setting up 7, because so far he has been excellent. Obviously, the guy coming over from TSM with a fair few years under his belt in Americas. That TSM roster last year, obviously led by MBS, it was a banger of a team.
And he got a lot of praise for his work within that as well. A lot of eyes on him. Ninja's already down to start this one out. Valorant caught in no man's land, surrounded and dropped at 2 versus 3. Shot through the smoke, brings them right back into it. It's CNET and Cupid. The off. As the smoke fades, those players have made it into safety. And this ult's not going to be easy. We can see, even if he gets it onto one player, which is a game of battleships at best, still going to be another with gun up, ready to fight. You've got post-plant Hunter's Fury to worry about. That's why Cooper goes around towards main. That cleared out. You know they're on site. They're not playing for the ults unless they're in the spawn, so you'll clear that angle out. But he's being caught. Did he get caught by his own ulti? I'm pretty sure he did. Oh, CNET, you silly goose. Cooper's alone now, trying to clutch it out. He's found his first. But the creep around might just catch him. Big swing from Rose, and another round for the IGL of BBL. That could have been so much different, though. If I hope I'm wrong, but I really think he stepped into his ult. He's done a governor, Tom.
I also don't think that ult reaches the back corner. I don't think it goes far enough. So I don't know. I don't know if Rose was even caught by it. Maybe he dodged it just to.
Oh no!
Yeah, like Rose is just shooting like normal. He's definitely not been slowed.
Yeah.
So he wasn't hit by the ult.
Yeah, I think he could sidestep it though. No, it was a little to the right. It covered like the whole back lane, but not, I guess, around the corner. Unlucky. Nice try, but the rounds keep adding up for that attack side. And hell, if 6 wasn't enough, maybe 7 is. Maybe 8 will be. Because it seems tough to stop them, and with the weaponry Pacific are bringing into play, I think an 8th round is on the cards. Now, the first pick has gone their way. It's the only real weapon they have. The decisive lack of the bandit being brought through for Pacific. They're very much rather in the Sheriff, and with so many long-range angles, even that little 145, I understand why.
It's a decent start to a round that they don't have a lot to play with. Seven's ult could see some value. Of course, with the Cypher still alive, having someone lurking through mid wouldn't be a massive surprise. They do need to clear out Cena, and that's exactly what they do. And while Ninja trying to trade with a classic, it never really seemed like it was going to work out. And for 7, well, nothing's really gone well. It is clean as can be. Every fight going the way of BBL.
Poison's off.
Valorant, he's known for
30 seconds
his
left.
headshot ability. Having a Guardian, but realistically, the post-plant clutches from Rose alone has been very good. And there's 3 other players.
Genuinely seems to be an impossible task for the Hunter's Fury to fall back on. Even if he hits 3 crazy shots, this one should be going to Rose. His clutch percentage has been pretty solid. The question of damage doesn't even come into the conversation as Laroc quickly puts a pin in that round. 8-2 now for BBL. It is round after round success. An odd blip here or there, a flash in the pan from Pacific, but they are quickly finding that flame extinguished. And I mean,
Guardian?
there's always the rest of the veto to go to. You've got Abyss, Pacific's map. They'll feel more comfortable there. That's great. But those silver linings are looking a little bit gray, a little bit dull at the moment, because pound for pound, BBL, they are leading. Rose is leading, for God's sake, by a long shot.
Yep. Quick push once again. 7 already forced back, and half the time they're not even taking the spike with them for these early fights.
Jeez.
It's a IGL and IGL, and one of them's winning. That's a gamble and a half. I guess they're at a point of no return where 7's running through a snake bite to try and catch people off guard. It's not gone well. Valorant, there's just so many players appearing in front of his eyes that... yeah, I think CNEB might save.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you see a move and you think, ooh, that was a little bit of a bold maneuver. Yeah. That was a little bit risky, but I do understand here. It comes from not a place of calculation, but a place of desperation.
Yeah.
Nothing's working, for God's sake. Run through a snake bite, see if you can catch him off guard. When all the picks are going elsewhere, when the fight in main's being lost up against Rose, when, Christ, it seems like Rose is the next the next IGL duelist, perhaps.
The thing is, right, if you're only getting headshotted anyway, then if you're vulnerable, it doesn't matter.
Stun by shields.
Exactly.
If
you're vulnerable and slightly low from a snake bite, it doesn't matter because you're getting headshotted.
Exactly.
That's another end zone flawless, by the way. Not one that was specifically necessary for BBL. Their credits are through the roof, and they are 9-2 in the lead. You were asking the question throughout the majority of the half, is will 5 be enough, will 6 be enough? I think 9 might be enough.
What about 10? How do you feel about that?
I'd say that's an even better number than 9. It's a good number.
I actually know I don't have the math. I can't show my workings on this, right? But I have a feeling that you actually have a better chance to win with 10 than with 9.
Well, Hunter's Fury, that's already a tag. Oh, there's no escape. Cupid, that's another battle versus Rose. Not a fair one, but he's lost it. That's already, the IGL started this game quite well, but it seems like his opponent has just started to level up and up and up. They're trying to deal with Rose, and they have 2 quick kills back. The double. Hello, Loiter. I think he just got so used to being able to run around the map with nobody killing him that he just forgot that he had to shoot his gun.
It kind of actually looked like what I just saw.
Wait, Rose, you haven't killed 4 already?
It's the same towards A main. 2 players go out, took in those corners.
Well, they've seen them.
And it seems a little bit disconnected from BBL. 9-2 up. Getting a little bit cocky, feeling it.
Here.
They've been punished. Okay, sure. But a 9-3 scoreline ain't going to be the end of the world. They don't have their big clutcher online for BBL. So without Rose, I think that this should be Pacific.
They've only got Lovers Rock and Kraven, and you know, Lovers Rock only like top frag the Ascension Grand Finals, so washed.
30 seconds left.
Lovers Rock has also been revealed. So for Ninja, he's not been having a great time, but it's... he fall asleep in the wind?
He's
He
really
must have thought that was a clone.
He has.
Like,
oh yeah. Oh, the sidestepping clone, Tom.
I don't know what he thought, but why did he just stand there like he disconnected in real life? Oh no! Oh, this is possible. This is possible.
Please,
that's that's a clone. And then there you go. Seven's managed to get past, TP it in. An opportunity, but Seven will close out the round. It got a little bit messy. It got a little bit shaky, but they managed to get to 3. 9-3 curses on. Mitch, are you ready for the comeback?
He's out here to give me a heart attack, Tom. I don't know what that TP was. I'm so ready for a comeback, though. Defensive side. Oh, it wasn't too kind to Pacific, but now we're talking about double dive, double smokes. It's a different idea. Let's see if it works after the break.
One enemy remaining.
Time to jump.
Your body knows. A sense of victory. Seized when mind, movement, and gear ignite as one. Now, step into your zone. Designed to win.
Well, after the halftime break, it's time to get back into the game anytime now. For Pacific, 3 rounds on the board, a really tough defensive side, and it felt like BBL came out of the gate swinging, looking for nothing but those jaw hits and landing every single one. Pacific stumbling and crumbling, but now they're on the attack. Double dive and a new idea with these smokes, not coming in with Viper, but having Astra, having the Omen as well. It gives them a lot more flexibility for Cooper to try to lead this team. But the problem is Rose on the other side has been leading by example.
These are not the stats for now. I know it says it on the screen, but just in case anybody was like, 158 ACS, wasn't he carrying? Was he just hitting them for 1? And no, those are the stats from last year. But yeah, Rose is not normally the guy that takes you through the games with a 16-5 scoreline, as you could see from those stats, but he's having a worldie of a game. Now I want to look at Cupid for a different reason. His calling here is going to be important. He can lead
Cutting through.
in terms of the calls. He can let them know where they're going. He can set up the ideas and hopefully start things off well.
Well, there's Rose in the ground already. VALORANT with another
Crispy.
for Pacific. 2 opening picks. Time to group up, take a site, avoid giving BBL those individual duels because it can be a slippery slope, especially on a pistol. With Ghosts on the other side for Loida and Lover's Rock, a challenge rounding that corner. Loida able to at least deal some damage. Set Lover's Rock up for a fight, but nothing's going their way on BBL.
Toxin screen down.
Is Rock only able to get 1? They don't even have to necessarily push this way, especially with VALORANT already clearing those back lines. Timing's not great, but
Last player
Treven
standing.
clearly not expecting anybody to be there, not ready for the fight. It will now leave Loiter in a 1v4 scenario, and CNED is waiting patiently. Does he check? Does he check the base? Not check at the box.
Spike play.
No!
CNED!
CNED, he's a young
do
Turkish
it!
spy. Oh, he missed! He missed! You got what you deserve, CNED! Oh, no one's going to clip that. No one's clipping that. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
At least he's got a smile on his face.
Hey, you know.
They won the round still. It's okay.
We've seen whiffs in our time.
That made me so happy, Tom.
Back up.
You get exactly what you deserve. Oh my goodness.
It genuinely is. It's like the new kid coming back to the league, and CNED's like, I'll show you who's boss. Be careful, Thinky. You might go back off the chair if you swing any harder.
Oh, well, that's a little bit of an energy injection for Pacific. A 4th round found now as well, and it's time to keep on adding those up. For BBL, left with Classics. This should be where Pacific, correct me if I'm wrong, for the first time chained together around. It's just been one here or there so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Kind of hope you're wrong, but I think you might be right.
I think I'm spot on. A chance for them to correct how things have gone, I think, so far.
Hey, if not, it's a great advertisement for the BBL bundle. That's all I'll say, because there are only Classics invested. There is nothing else. So, realistically, you should be correct.
That's a really nice skin. I like that.
I'm always a fan of purple and gold. It's just it's a banger combo. We have not been paid by BBL to say that. What should we have?
You know what? They have my number, so I have their jersey. This is I'm not sure I like this. Cina's walking in with an outlaw in hand into the middle of sight, so he's surrounded by the maximum number of angles. But that means the maximum number of orbs for him to acquire.
He's just flexing on him.
That makes sense. That was a really risky entry to sight, solo through mid, but fair enough.
You know, he's like it's like Michael Jordan in his later years. You got to show these kids who's boss. Like he's the Michael Jordan of Turkish Valorant.
I don't know anything about basketball, but I'm sure that makes a lot of sense.
Michael Jordan is very good.
I know that. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, very good.
Very good.
That's all I know. And
I think it's Scottie Pippen.
Cool shoes. Mate, his free throws. Is he also a basketball player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't just name another sport.
I thought you might have been catching me off.
Maybe. You know.
Yeah, I'm wise to your tricks.
It's not the papaya all over again.
Well,
when you said you're a big McLaren.
Listen, I'm not very well versed. If it's not played on a computer, I don't know what's happening. Most of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Tends to be how it works, and half the time I don't know what's happening on the computer either.
Or unless it's an Irish sport. That is one hell of a start. CNED tried to knife him, so he's just wrecked him through a wall and through a smoke at the beginning of the round. Showing Unk who's boss. I like how Unk is only like 24 as well. Either way, trying to put some pressure onto the players on the side, but this crossfire of Lorok and Loiter is a fearsome one to try and deal with. Loiter taking the majority of the contact, and they know that he is here. That doesn't matter though. This is the youngsters we were talking about. How has he not died? He was in his drone. That's the Rose that we normally see. Rose in his drone gets swung, still survive because some 18-year-old has shot him in the head.
Yeah, that was remarkable stuff for BBL, and I think compounding on what we talked about earlier. Oh no, bro. When he's laughing like that, when he's screaming across the stage.
Laugh. That's outrageous.
Oh, it's got to feel bad to sit across from that. So Pacific, they managed to chain 2 in a row, and that's where the streak ended. Now for BBL.
He's doing the same spam
right
through the box every round.
You'll see that at the start of last round. Yeah, I'll do that spam every time I play this map now. It's a nice little early opening. So it looks like Pacific, like they're going back to just mid control. Fighting those choke points isn't working towards B main, or towards A main, sorry. And B's never going to be a fun one. That mid split, it worked out. They got a lot of control. CNED was able to walk into the site, but this time there's an off wait for them.
Yeah, this is where Lover's Rock is really hard to deal with. He's good at sort of taking those initial fights, and as you can see, immediately falling back. He has no level of greed to his gameplay, which as a Yoru player is the most irritating thing to fight against, because he's just going to keep repositioning every time he fires a shot. On the other side of things, they are at least going to be able to get some space in towards that site. Hunter's Fury being utilized, but as of yet hasn't connected, and now the full force of this defense has started to take back control.
Oh, the jump up from Cupert's good. He hasn't managed to spot Rose tucked in on that corner. And Rose strikes now, dropping Ninja. Dealing a bit of damage to Cupert as well, the 2 versus 3. Pacific, no plant found just yet. And as they attempt it, it'll be forcing it 1vx. It's not going to be an easy duel. And as time ticks on, that flank is coming through from Loida, making a difficult situation all the more challenging. A 3K from Cupert, but the spike needs to be planted, and now it's on the floor. 10 seconds, and no one to cover as the plan's coming in. Valorant has to be lucky to avoid the spams. He's on 19 HP, but still alive. Given a chance, losing here, it sends BBL straight to the home stretch, a chance to close out this map and start the series off with confidence. But a few well-placed shots could buy Pacific a much-needed chance. It all comes down to the timing. Lloyd is just about to round that corner. VALORANT needs to be quick, but Lloyd gets there first.
Difficult clutch to win with the amount of damage that was already taken, and the quick rotations from BBL made it almost impossible. The thing that was a little bit peculiar though was it feels like the two players on site knew the Rose was in that corner. They were literally full spamming that wall, and then Ninja walks out main completely unaware. That's the bit that threw me off. It does feel like maybe there's just a piece or two missing in terms of communication, because I feel like that was a free kill for him. If the guy spamming the wall goes, I think he's behind the wall I'm spamming.
Yeah, I think the only problem is, so Rose ran through the smoke right after the Hunter's Fury came through, got a kill. And then when Cooper jumps up and doesn't see him, it's like, to us it's clear, he's obviously in that
No, but I mean straight after that, they're spamming the wall and hitting Rose for 70. Like, he takes a lot of damage in that corner. So that was after he jumped up. He jumped back down and went, he's in this corner. So someone thought he was there, otherwise that's an insane
Or it is, I mean, it could be just intuition, I suppose, but yeah, you give that little, there could be someone in the corner.
Yeah.
Get your teammate, eyes on it, instead of holding the smoke, different game altogether. And here he is, Kraven, that's my boy down there. I love seeing this guy play. I feel like he's has actually been figured out quite a lot here.
That's why you like him, the last one.
And he knows how to play the game, but he also knows how to play the game in real life. Avoid those beats.
Broke his right arm twice. That couldn't be you, though.
Oh,
you're terrified of everything.
Yeah, I never get injured actually as well. So
that's a really good thing.
They call me Colossus from X-Men. Untouchable.
How's your shoulder?
Which one? Yeah, both. Better than ever. Yeah. But yeah, Kraven, I understand it, man. I don't like bees either. Stay away from.
I think you just don't like any bugs.
I like some bugs.
I've watched
not the ones that are gonna
run into the
bite
road
or pinch me.
Oh, I think that's all bugs.
Then I don't like any bugs. Yeah. The teethless ones.
I like the friendly one.
Yeah,
maybe butterflies.
They're all right. Pacific, this is it. Credits put on the line. BBL set to take 12 if they win this. Kraven up close, the man we just highlighted. We heard from him. Now it's time to see him play the game, wrapping around through those smokes. Through the orb comes Kraven, dealing and dishing out death. But it's only the double.
Decent trade.
Pacific managed to trade this back and get a plant and get the Cosmic Divide up so they can fall back to main. They can get post-plant positions. That's a great recovery.
Right here.
That divide has bought plenty of time for them to reposition as well, so any ideas that were there are gone, but that's a nice bait and switch. VALORANT in the corner, not a lot of places he can go, but the crossfire, Ninja is well aware. It's left onto Loiter again, though. 18 and 8. He's moved to the top of the board on this defensive side. Has been fantastic in the clutch, but he looks the wrong way. This time, Ninja is well aware, and a big recovery round from him.
I think a big recovery half as well. Like, he was like 2 and 9, something like that, having a really, really rough game. And now he's got himself back up to sort of the bottom end of the scoreboard. He's playing a decent game, which means this half so far has been night and day compared to what we saw before. Working really well with VALORANT there. I don't know what was happening with VALORANT. He was trying to pop that smoke for a few seconds. I was getting worried. But he got it back in the end.
He's used to, he's used to the Cypher way. You can just look at the floor and step off. It's like a little bit easier.
Well, 11-6. Disaster averted, but another one on the horizon. BBL have bought up the op on Lover's Rock. A nightmare to deal with at the best of times.
He's pushing further and further down as well, knowing that he can just take that shot and get out of there. If there is anybody around here, and there you go. Look, immediately, straight back to site. He's gone. Like, there's no way you can now hunt him down. That's what makes him so irritating. They're re-pushing it, though, re-clearing it. In fact, even spotting the TP out, but Seven's got a freebie. And actually, again, Pacific have been able to turn this. Still got to deal with a couple of these players. Loiter up close, might not expect the player in main, but after a shot is missed. Oh, he's gone into the drone, but VALORANT is covering, holding for his teammate. Now that operator rotates back into position. Rose once again, but it's left onto the op, and a mistake made with the spike down and a swing out. It will be 7 to close. A back and forth all the way through. But it is Pacific to win the round.
Considering how this started out with BBL looking incredibly dominant, that scoreline's going to start to get pretty concerning pretty soon. It's closing in. Pacific looked like they found their mice. Players who were not hitting even the easy kills are now all of a sudden starting to play the game. Everyone's online. hell, if CNED's on the bottom of the board, you know the rest are doing something right. And it can only get more and more dangerous from this point if they don't take a moment, if they don't take a tactical break, reassess how these rounds have gone for BBL. So close to that 1-0 start, to getting their map under their belt. But even at this stage, it won't be as dominant a victory as it looked like it would be. It's time to course correct before that victory becomes a loss.
Yeah, I think this is probably the right moment for it. Like, up until this point, as you said, they'd lost the pistol second round. This is the first time in the whole game they've lost 2 bye rounds
Actual
in a row.
rounds, yeah.
So there was never really anything for a coach to sort of take a moment and be like, oh, actually, I need to be swapping things up. It's just, okay, maybe they're a bit silly, maybe they're overfacing, but we're starting to see that their opponents are getting back into the game. And I like the fact that, as said, it doesn't seem like Pacific is shying away from a fight. I think they've done quite well of sort of catching the over-aggression. Like, after getting that opening kill, I do think Kreven's push was a little bit over-aggressive, and you start to see players almost hunting for 1v1s on the BBL side. Like, all of those back and forth trade kills were because someone went for a 1v1. You had Lloyd to try and run into main to fight the player who was using a drone, gets caught from mid. Like, they almost feel unaware of other angles that they could be open to because they're so fixated on getting the kills. And I think that might be something that the coach, Key, has just got to go, yeah, we need to stop doing that.
Well, back in, this is a round that still has some promise. I mean, even if you look at the weapons they have, but the fact that Laroc's popped the Blade Storm too, Pacific have to be cautious. And I love how cautious they're being. They know they're coming up against a mixed buy. They know there's a Blade Storm. And so they spread out. Play down to a minute 10 as a default. Not just a default, but a default on range. That's what they're avoiding. They're avoiding that flash that could come around any corner and have a Blade Storm follow it up, a free kill and a dash out. They don't want to give those chances, so they play outside of main. They play in their spawn practically.
And now they've heard that flash go off, they reclaim the space. They're going back in to basically face off a spot that their opponents have cleared. So it leaves Laroc on an island. Okay, there will be a TP across the map eventually that could help him out, but I don't think there's any way that he can really hold this down without just hitting clip of the day.
And it's this mid layer to it as well from Pacific that's going to be so difficult to deal with. CNED, not the weapon I'd want, the Outlaw deep in spawn like that, but he's going to have the task of cutting off those rotations. Again, just not the weapon for it. Let's see how much he can get done, but VALORANT already finding one. CNED misses the shots, has to go to the pistol. Even lands a 140 onto Lover's Rock, but those shields keeping him alive. Thing is, though, retaking from here, even with the Outlaw in hand. 3 full shields on the other side, no easy fight. And Pacific, well, it's VALORANT making it look easy, robbed of the ace, but his work is very much done. Pacific closing that gap into 3. But as we said, BBL, there was promise, there were chances, there were dangers. This is the buy, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see VALORANT, the German in the league, come in and get an ace on his debut. For the team and in VCT EMEA. It was very close. Lloyd spoiled it, unfortunately, but he's definitely playing well. And that was the thing. Like, we know this guy for his Sentinel play. He's definitely been like sort of flexing a bit here and there with the smokes as well, but there's always been one thing that isn't in question, which is that aim. He's always had that in his locker. And especially to show him versus BBL is a good sign, but it's whether or not they can bring this any further already. That is a huge combo, but Laroc managed to dodge it.
VALORANT is here to pick up the pieces, though, as Lloyd goes down. Robbed of the ace in the previous round, but VALORANT is back for vengeance. He's taken down Kreven, but much more needed, as VALORANT on 30 health has only got Cupid by his side, but now the A site taken. A nice shot onto Laroc, a sneaky play through, gets the plant in favor of Pacific, but Lover's Rock with that op. He just needs to find Cupid, and the second kill would be so easy, but what an uncomfortable angle to try to take this fight. But Cupid hiding inside that smoke, ships in the night, he's crossed past him, and it's even VALORANT to take the kill in the end, his 3rd of the round. Some big performances now the past 2 from him, and that's put Pacific to a gap of 2. They are now hot on BBL's heels, and a team that looked set to take this with flying colors now finds themselves under threat.
Yeah, I definitely think you can see as well that the problems that are sort of there with dealing with all of these smokes. Like the amount of space that Cupid was able to get. Like LaRock was doing an incredible job. 3 kills off the back of just individual brilliance, but then Cupid's just stood in a spot he never expected. Like they are struggling versus this double controller on the attack side. And yeah, what we kind of expected to be a dominant victory, maybe what even should have been a 10-2 half. But now, since then, they've managed just a couple of rounds. And in this one, at least, not a mass to play with again. You've got a solo rifle picked up, a bandit put into the hands of Loiter. He's one away from having his ultimate online, which would definitely help out a little bit with the spam. It's looking like a B site execute here. The worry is, if a singular kill goes Loiter's way, he could put that Viper's Pit into play, but that's a lot of ifs and buts.
He's got the right weapon for it. The bandit up close, snake bite in, player on him, the fire rate's good, but CNED just about survives until Ninja has something to say about it. Dropping his teammate. But look what BBL have to work with.
Yeah.
Hunter's Fury that's not going to be committed. I mean, unless they've lost their damn mind.
Interesting.
They need some pig. The Hunter's Fury's in. They've sent it. Rose is a madman, and he's found his kill. The Hunter's Fury lands. LaRock's flank finds 1, no, 2, and now 7. Mere moments later, is all alone. The walls closing in on him, and it's a crunch from Rose to put BBL up to 12. A ludicrous commitment with what they had. A man disadvantage, weaponry not in their favor. And he throws the Hunter's Fury through. It makes all the difference.
That's situational brilliance from Rose, honestly. That is him realizing, okay, LaRock is behind. LaRock has the rifle. If he just walks in, they're going to be ready. They're going to be watching that angle. There's going to be so much left that has to be disrupted. I throw in a Hunter's Fury. I displace 1 or 2 people. He maybe gets a freebie. He maybe gets an individual fight. The fact that Rose got a kill is just a little bit of luck that I think goes a long way. 100%. But then the fact that you saw the player on site on the pillar was not looking in any direction. They were just trying to dodge the ult. That's a free kill. And obviously then the second one is just LaRock being LaRock.
Revealing ready. Now 3 chances to close this out. Rose he's brought the Odin in. It's a dirty tactic, but we love to see it in play. But the B site is still the target. Even with that Viper's Pit up, the decision from Pacific is to wrap around. Already, though, CNED's going to be caught by the trip, giving away the play. The cage blocks sight, makes this very uncomfortable for them to get anywhere near the site. Kraven in danger of the spams after the reveal. Lover's Rock hiding in that corner as well. They've dropped Kraven, but they don't know about this snake in the grass. And Lover's Rock strikes for 1, Loida for another, keeping the numbers even. And with 7 tagged low, this could very easily be another BBL round, be the last BBL round of the map for Pacific. Back up against the wall, and the plant still needs to be found.
They still have both controllers standing. That might give them an opportunity to at least create a little bit of additional space. And all 3 players coming in from the same angle. On that defensive side, no flank this time to worry about. But there is a wraparound coming in on the attack. A double sort of layer, the pressure all being put onto Alorante, but the cross is being held. It's being watched for, though. They're ready for that mid-pick. Alorante on the site has done well. Already clearing out 1. Instant headshot on the second, and now Rose, well, an Odin clutch will be the cherry on top of the cake, but he's not even going to go for it. Saving the gun. A solid post plant once again from Pacific. And they have brought things back to just 2 rounds. OT is definitely possible.
A really remarkable recovery from how this game started, where it did very much like
it should have been over 15 minutes ago.
100% more, perhaps. The start of this game looked like a Tier 1 team playing a Tier 2 team. That's what I would expect to see.
It depends which Tier 2 team you're talking about.
That's true. That's true. And for BBL, a timeout called. Their tactical break, their second now being used up. They're all out. With 2 chances to close this out. They're luckily not out of luck just yet. But it is getting dangerous. And we're seeing the promise of Pacific on the other side. Again, a lot of talk, a lot of hype about a man like 7. We know that CNED's a man worthy of the hype that he's had in the past, albeit Turkish Jet has been, we're waiting for the prodigal son to return to that role for quite a while. At least he's not on smokes. But
not on smokes yet, it's only map 1.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Although they have 2 others playing smokes in this game.
Yeah,
so.
Cubert's an Omen boy through and through. So unless Valorant wants to swap over, which hell with the aim he's had so far, good a risk.
Yeah, but I think Valorant has that on anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you put him on.
But we are seeing that promise of Pacific. That formula really starting to heat up, and that is a team as well. I think it's a worthwhile conversation. I expect BBL to come in and be good from day one. I know that they are. I expect Pacific to be a team that, hey, maybe for stage 1, for stage 2, they could be a contender, but I think that anyone in their position should need time. Hey, listen, good recovery already. Let's see how much more they've got in the tank.
Well, we've seen it before, where a team comes in. I think BBL was a great example last year, where a lot of it is people looking to make a comeback, or maybe being one of the last people to be picked up overall. Like, this team was literally announced yesterday. Which, come on, Pacific. You've known who you had a little bit longer than that. But, yeah, to see them already looking this good versus a team we expected to absolutely batter them is a good sign going forward. It's whether or not they can now go that little bit further. Can they take this to OT? Can they take their opponent's map choice and show a truly impressive attack side?
You know, very much shake up the meta as well in terms of the comp they're bringing to it. I like what we've seen from Pacific so far, but 2 more in a row. No room for error anymore, and they're moving towards the A site. Cupid sending it out towards B. I don't know if this is going to be a fake, a use of the paranoia, or if he's just clearing that space that BBL have been keen to take in the past. Cam broken, it's all making noise, but if he goes out there without his weapon drawn, it could be an easy pick for Lover's Rock. The op misses him, and now the play towards A, but it's being read by BBL. 4 players in position, ready for this blitz. BBL, they've outthought them. All they have to do now is land those shots, and one after another go in their favor.
Patience might just pay off. LaRock in the corner. He should have been a dead man for quite a while, but he's going to survive the round. It isn't it so flawless to close. It took BBL quite a bit longer than expected to get that one over the line, but the fact is, they got it over the line.